It's match day hype. I'm Gaia Cotto, but let me introduce one of the massive football experts and obviously a gentleman like Thomas Lawrence. How are you doing?
Gaia, I'm all good, thank you very much, and thank you so much for that incredible introduction. That was brilliant.
I dreamed this last night. I was thinking, how can I introduce my colleague, you know?
You're very kind, and I really appreciate that. I mean, massive football expert, I'll definitely take that and appreciate it. But joking aside, a massive shout out to all our international fans that are following us on Match Day Hype, as you quite rightly said, Guy. This is the build-up to the big match tomorrow. You may have heard there's a big game tomorrow, Inter versus Milan. So together, Guy, we're going to continue the countdown to this massive fixture. But Guy, I've been very rude. You said I'm a gentleman, but I wasn't a gentleman. How are you doing? Excuse me. Where are my manners?
I feel great, as always, when I work with you and when I have the possibility to talk about Nero Azzurri and with Nero Azzurri, because you are live with us, and we want to bring our passion all over the world. So.
Good.
I'm blessed, you know?
Absolutely. We need that enthusiasm, because obviously we know there's a massive game and maybe some fans are a bit tense, so we're going to try and...
You are?
No, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very excited as always. I always look forward to these big occasions. What about you? Tense?
No, yeah. Maybe a little, you know, a little, but in a positive way.
Do you know one of the many reasons why you shouldn't be feeling too tense? Because obviously, this is match day -1, and we've got so much to look forward to together with all our fans. And the other thing is, Guy, we go into this game after a really important win against Atalanta on Tuesday night in the quarterfinals of the Cup.
Yes, obviously we are talking about the derby. All the Inter fans are waiting for this moment, like every season. But we don't have to forget that this week was really tough, even because we had the game of the Italian Cup, and we won. I can say that. It's not only an important win because, you know, we can continue with the semifinals, but even because the performance was great. I think that everything worked great. What do you think?
No, I completely agree. And we're lucky with Marco in the control room. We can actually see some of the footage of this great win, as you said. And I think it did go really well from the first minute to the last. There's so many positives from that match against Atalanta, which is also the best way to build up and warm up to the derby. We go into it in great momentum, having reached the semi-finals for 4 years running, which I think is an incredible achievement. We're also holders of the competition, having won it last year, as our super Marco Secchi in the control room brings up the footage. Were you there at San Siro? It was very cold. Were you there on Tuesday night?
Yes. It was cold, but you know better than me that our fans made it hotter with their passion, and they support the team as always great. I think that we saw a lot of positive things, obviously.
100%.
Darmian, he scored an amazing goal, and he was able of holding different positions. This is so important for Coach Inzaghi, because he can find every time different solutions. You know, and he is really great. Now we know that he signed again with Inter, but we have time to talk about it.
Naturally.
We saw also a good performance from Lukaku.
Lukaku, we just saw in the picture a few moments ago. That was one of the other many bright points and positives to take from the evening, Guy, because Lukaku, as even the coach said in his press conference today, and we'll have a chance to hear from Simone Inzaghi very shortly, said that Lukaku is on his way back. He's working his way back to full fitness. And matches like this one, where he has a chance to play from the first minute, as we see here, this is a trademark of Lukaku, Guy, the back to goal, drawing in defenders, holding it up, which is so important. And there's some of the passion you mentioned there earlier. Darmian, another one, as you said, and we'll see his goal, which came very close to the start of the second half, and we also saw from Chanalolo as well.
He needs to build up minutes, you know, because of the injury he had for the first time in career, but he didn't score, but he opened spaces for his teammates, you know.
That's what he's all about, Guy. It's not just about the goals. It's also about, as you said, the teamwork and that he does. Like we see here, how many times have we seen, and this is only a short highlights package, of Lukaku holding up possession, bringing in players and allowing people like here, as we see, this lovely goal, which stemmed from Lukaku in the build-up play, and then Darmian finishing off. As you said, he's renewed his contract. He's going to be at the club for another year, which is great news. And as you said, such a versatile player, Matteo Darmian.
This is so important because Inzaghi needs some alternative players, and we can also talk about Barella. His plays are always creative. I can say that, and
you've got to say
the leadership of Çalhanoğlu. We can say that is a team win.
Absolutely a team win, and that's obviously the secret and the success. And I think Simone Inzaghi has said this many times over the course of the season. Very lucky to have so many options in the side, as you mentioned, some of those players, and Barella now also back. You know, after that suspension, which saw him miss out on one of the matches recently against Cremonese, so back in the side is what's important as we see the final moments here from Atalanta. So that was Atalanta, and I'm sure our fans at home would have enjoyed that win. As we said, we'll face Juventus in the semi-finals for the final four, which is going to be a big game. But obviously, we'll talk about that nearer the time. Let's focus on the other derby, because that's the derby of Italy, and this is the derby di Milano.
Step by step, because
I'm getting too excited.
Now you talk about Italian Cup with Juventus, and then the derby. Too much emotions on me. You know, I think about the Super Cup, I think about the Italian Cup, I think about the derby.
Champions League as well to come.
It's too much. It's too much. So step by step, we're ready to talk about the derby against AC Milan. We face a team that we beat in Super Cup, but this is completely another story, because we know, and Darmian after the match told this okay, maybe the most difficult matches for the players are the matches that are easiest to prepare. Because the only important thing, or maybe not the only one, obviously, but the most important thing is the motivation that helps players to play matches like this.
I think that makes sense, and motivation will be a big factor tomorrow. And I think tomorrow the players won't need to really dig deep to find the motivation, because it's Milan, it's the derby at San Siro. So they'll already have that focus already from last week, you know, focusing on this game, building up to it. And on the subject of our players, let's look at together how the teams could line up, the probable formations. Now, a reminder to our fans that are following from, this is obviously probable, it's not official. This is how Inter could line up tomorrow, Gaia. There's obviously, as the Italians would say, a ballottaggio. I love that word. But in English, you'd say there's two players tussling it out for a starting jersey, and that is Lukaku and Edin Dzeko. At the moment, we put Lukaku because he started in midweek, but we're thinking that maybe Dzeko could come back into the side. On the right, there's also Darmian and Dumfries. That's another option that could see. But this is how Inter could line up. But what we'll see, Guy, is a 3-5-2 system from Inter with Inzaghi, who are doing really well right now.
Yes, obviously, we play with 3-5-2. And another point will be on defense, and Bastoni. I think he could be one of the key players of this match, his movement, and we already saw him during this season. He is able also to create important assists.
There he is.
So, what do you think?
Oh, Bastoni for me is such a central player, as we can see here on the back here. Again, confirmation, the probable lineups how Inter could line up tomorrow. He's such a pillar at the back, and he's so important in both phases of play, guys. So, both defensively, but also joining in with the attack as well. How many times have we seen Bastoni create assists this season? Was there one, I think, at Monza for Matteo Darmian, for example, going back to last season against Lazio? So not only is he important in that defensive phase, but also in that attacking phase, helping the team
when he
out.
pushed the plays, even Mkhitaryan has more spaces, and we can see Di Marco, that he's a player that during the season, we can say that he has in a really good shape, and his plays are really important too for the team.
They're vital for the kind of football that Simone Inzaghi wants to play a spot on. And obviously that link, as the Italians would say, the catena sinistra, that left-hand side
on the left,
with Bastoni.
We can see something interesting
with,
for sure.
Exactly, with Bastoni, Di Marco combining, obviously, so that's really important. Just like the right-hand side as well, of course, with Darmian linking up as well, or it could be Denzel Dumfries. We'll wait and see. Obviously, the coach has has tomorrow to think about the formation. So this is how the Nerazzurri could line up.
Let me say also
definitely go.
Çalhanoğlu will be another important topic about this.
We'll be talking about him.
This match is a leader, and you know, he's playing really good as a playmaker. So we will see how AC Milan can react of this type of player.
Completely agree. He's done so well stepping into that playmaker role with Marcelo Brozovic, who's been missing out because of injury. He's done so well. Completely agree with you, Guy. He's so central to the team. He makes Inter tick because he gives them rhythm. He sets the tempo, and what's really impressed me about Çalhanoğlu, and we saw it in the Supercoppa in Riyadh, not just in the final third of the pitch, that attacking side, but also defensively, his work rate as well. As you mentioned, it's a special game for him as well, being ex-Milan. And talking of Milan, let's see how the Rossoneri could play tomorrow. At the moment, Guy, I've put them down as potentially this 4-3-3 system, how Stefano Pioli might set up the Rossoneri for tomorrow's match. So this is the Milan probable lineups which we're going to see now. Milan have a lot of players missing for the match. There's the Englishman, my good friend Tomori, missing out. There's no Benacer, there's no Magnan, no Ibrahimovic, no Florenzi. So they do have a lengthy list of absentees, but as we can see here, it's a side full of quality, Guy. Quality side, and they're champions of Italy.
Yeah, obviously, a lot of qualities. It's true, they are not living a great moment right now, but we have to really think about this game as a tough game, as always a derby. We know how much Giroud and Leao can be.
Dangerous,
very dangerous.
Very dangerous players. I completely agree. Giroud, we know him obviously from last season as well. He decided the derby, went into with a home side last season, so we have some unpleasant memories of Giroud,
I was
for example.
impressed about his interview after the defeat. He's a type of player who plays with heart.
So he's a lion.
Yes, he talked with the fans. He said sorry for the moment. So I expect that tomorrow they will come into the pitch with a lot of grit, with the
determination.
Ferocity,
they'll be ferocious. I completely agree with that, and I think that's going to be one of the keys to the match, because we all know that Milan go into this having lost the Supercoppa in Riyadh, having also struggled in terms of the results and the performances, but that can give them that extra motivation. And Guy, as history in football has taught us, there's no better occasion than the derby than to get back on track. And now we can see the two formations sort of side by side. So we're looking at a 3-5-2 and a 4-3-3, which could alter tomorrow. It's not, as I say, these are not definitive lineups, they're probable lineups. So Milan may change, and they may even, say, revert to a 4-2-3-1 tomorrow. But we've put it down, we think it could be a 4-3-3. Giroud has had some important words in the build-up. Leao, we know about his pace, his quality. At the moment, Salamakers looks like he's slightly favourite ahead of Macias in that role, but we'll wait and see. And then midfield, well, Tonali's a key player. He loves the club. He's always supported the club. And I think just like Federico Di Marco for us, so those kind of players also really important. And as we said, the absentees, yes, there are many, but we've also had our absentees this season. And when you have a big squad, you know that you can overcome that, Guy. So this is what we've put here. As for yourself, is there anyone in particular you want to chat about? Leao, we've talked about him, his pace, his power.
An amazing talent. But we know, luckily,
we know all about him.
But I'm always impressed when I saw him on the pitch. It's not only technique, it's also about his physical strength.
Absolutely.
And he's really young.
He's
so
very young.
He can really grow. I don't know which type of player he could be in the future, but he can be really dangerous.
Absolutely. As you said, he's still so young, and he still has that margin for improvement to keep getting better. I think in the Super Cup in Riyadh, which was only 2 weeks ago, so it's interesting that we meet them for the third time this season, the Rossoneri. Inter did so well with the Darmian in particular, sort of nullifying the threat of Leao when they played that match in Riyadh. He did so well to keep him quiet.
We did a great job. Our defense did a great job.
Incredible performance. And thank you to Marco in the control room, lightning fast as always. And I said, because I think, Guy, this is interesting because we met them only a couple of weeks ago. A trophy was on the line. Inter were just so dominant in this match, and it's worthwhile looking back again at these at this footage and these great goals and this great performance. And obviously it was all kick-started in absolute style, Guy, by Federico Di Marco. I mentioned he came up through the Inter Academy, so the Inter youth sector. Federico Di Marco has always supported Inter, so to score in a derby for him must have been incredibly special as well.
You know, I was watching the match here in this studio.
At Piano, we were here.
I was sit down over there in the corner, and I was looking there. I said, "Oh, wow! Dimash did a great job." And we played good from the beginning.
Yeah.
Since the end.
Absolutely.
You know, it's when we were telling before, it's mental.
Yes.
First of all, it's mental. And when you see the face of the Lions, you know, on the pitch, and they were ready to fight.
Yeah.
You know, because we already know the qualities of this team. This team can do everything.
Absolutely.
So
no, I think that's an excellent point. They approach that match perfectly, and obviously the match is on Sunday, so it's tomorrow. Hence Sunday showdown as we get ever closer. Now we're only one day or so to go. This man will be a key factor, Matteo Darmian, in one way or another, having already decided the match this week against Atalanta, which is a Lombardy derby, and now we have the City rivalry. Guy, if you agree with me, I would go in now and listen also to what Simone Inzaghi had to say, and then we'll comment his words together. He spoke in the press conference earlier today, Simone Inzaghi, so let's listen in what he had to say about this very special fixture.
Chiaramente lo sappiamo, il derby.
We all know that this match means everything to every single one of us. We know that we need heart and mind to do well. We go into this ready to give our absolute all out on the pitch. We're obviously delighted to have gone through to the semi-finals of the Cup as well. However, we'll think about that later on. For now, our focus is on Milan. Derbies are all unique fixtures. I've been part of 6 derbies since joining the club a year and a half ago. Between Super Cup and Coppa Italia, they went really well and allowed us to win 2 trophies. The league derbies were a bit disappointing for us. We drew one of the matches last season and also missed a penalty in that game. We know that we have to keep our heads though and stay focused and balanced. I think balance is key when it comes to derbies. We can't afford to waste too much negative energy. We need to go into this, as I said, balanced and with our feet on the ground. So those are the words of Simone Inzaghi. What did you think? Focused, determined, ready?
Balance in the approach.
Yeah.
Because we know that our team is the best in the first 15 minutes of game.
Absolutely.
We are the best team in this to score at the first part of the match. So as we already said a lot of times, this skill is pretty important for Inter, and we have to continue to keep it during all the competition. So we will see what happens tomorrow.
I think, as you said, Guy, going back also to the Super Coppa performance, the team recently have been so good at starting the matches really fast by scoring an early goal or being really aggressive, as we also giving you some footage from training earlier this week at Piano Gentile Sunning Training Centre. Obviously the boys hard at work, but it's not live footage, it's footage obviously from earlier this week at the Sunning Training Centre. So I think Simone Inzaghi, what he's saying is absolutely correct, saying that it's all about heart and mind, so you need that side of things, but also he said balance is key. There's no need to get too charged up for this occasion because you need to have that right approach and be balanced, feet on the ground, keep your heads, keep cool. But as he's also said there, Gaia, in the Coppa Italia last season, Super Coppa, we've done really well. In Serie A last season, we drew one and lost one. So I think there's also that desire to win a league match, a league derby against the Rossoneri.
Yes, we always want to do that. An interesting stat, Tom, is also about our defense, because Inter conceded 5 goals at home, and only Rome does the same. So it means that we are doing a really good job when we play home in defense, and we have to keep going to this.
Yeah, I think at home we've been exceptional in terms of our solidity. Defensively, we've been so strong.
Because we play with +1. Our fans.
Exactly, well said. There's a chance with dodicesimo uomo, or the 12th man out on the pitch, and that is the tifosi. And on that subject, we're heading towards a sellout crowd tomorrow. Over 70,000 fans are going to be packed into the San Siro, and they'll need to play their part as well to help Inter get the job done. Keep Milan out. As you said, at home, we've conceded very few goals. The only disappointing and where we need to improve is to take that solidity on the road and when we play away from home. But of course, let's focus on the positives naturally, because that's what is key. So that's a bit about how Simone Inzaghi has presented this match, Guy. Also, obviously, Stefano Pioli he also spoke in his press conference today.
In his opinion, what will be the key of this match?
Well, first of all, remind Stefano Pioli is an ex of this match, having coached Inter as well, so that also adds extra spice to this occasion. Stefano Pioli basically, guys, saying that he's well aware that his side don't go into this in the best of form. But going back to also what we were saying, Guy, earlier, he said there's no better opportunity than a derby to turn the corner, get back on track, start winning it. And I think he's right in that sense. It can give you that boost. He knows his side have come in for some criticism in recent weeks, and he said that's fair. But at the same time, he knows his players have the quality, have the experience to do well tomorrow. So as we see, this is going to be another motivation for them. Having lost the Supercoppa just a couple of weeks ago, they're going to come tomorrow to San Siro. We're the home side, they're the away side as such, and they're going to want to do the business. But as I said, come back to looking at these goals, I think our fans will be delighted. I can watch this goal again and again by Edin Dzeko. Reminding one of Diego Milito. Of the three goals, what was your favourite? Di Marco, Dzeko or Lautaro's? I know it's a difficult question, I apologise.
You know, I never answer, but this time I have to, because to be honest, I think Di Marco.
Di Marco? Okay.
Yes, because the way he started the match, and he is really playing solid. Yeah. And I really like this.
Absolutely, in both phases. I'm going to say probably Edin Dzeko was the goal that got me the most sort of excited and had me jumping up and down.
Edin Dzeko is an important player for us because, you know, when he has the ball, I sit on the couch and I say, okay, maybe he's about to do something great.
Something special, absolutely.
Something special.
Absolutely.
So everybody talk about his age, but honestly, I think that when you play, when you are on the pitch, the age it's just a number.
No, absolutely.
You know, because when you are in a shape like this, you can have 36, 20, 25, but if you score like this, doesn't matter the number, you know? I like when everybody talk about, and I think that Edin is agree with me. Because
I'm sure they will. His shape is
a shape of, you know, a young player.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. With the experience of a veteran. So. Yeah. This is just a number because he's showing an amazing shape.
It's just a number. It's a mental factor. It has no difference as we go from the past to the present, back to Appiano Gentile Suning training center, because the boys have been hard at work this week out on the training ground. So I reckon now to treat our fans at home, we'll look back at the best of the training session, you know, the best of, how do you say training? Allenamento. We've got the best of the training session for our fans at home who are tuning in and following us, and a massive shout out again to everyone who's following us right now for our Matchday Hype show. This is some of the best of the training this week, Guy. The boys focused, hard at work. You used to play, was it volleyball? Volleyball. So you know what it's like to be working hard, building up to a big game.
Yes, don't worry, guys. I wasn't a striker. I was a setter because now every time I say that, oh, but you are not tall. I know. I was just smart. I can say that. No,
you were just focused on
but
thinking.
Yes, before the match, I don't know. I try to do something else because I don't want, even before to start live, I don't think and I don't talk about it. You know, I start to think about it like, I don't know, 30 minutes before, and I just relax. I take care of my body, I listen good music, I spend time with the people that I love, and this is the perfect situation to start play an important match. But you know, my level, obviously, I can't compare this what they live, you know. But I always like thinking that they are normal people. So
which they are, yeah, absolutely.
I like imagine this, that they just do normal things. Maybe watch some television and go to sleep early, have a good breakfast, and then let's go.
And then exactly.
It's time to fight.
Come kick off, come Sunday, come the Sunday showdown, they will be ready. But like I said, we like to give our fans these clips, Guy, because it sort of takes them directly to the heart of the Suning training center, Appiano Gentile, for the training sessions. Because I think for the fans, the tifosi at home, they absolutely love to see the boys working, how they prepare, because sometimes you see some incredible tricks, you see some amazing goals out on the training ground. Obviously,
you know what I like?
The rapport between the players. What do you like about it?
The smiles, and you know, it's something pretty easy, but when I saw these pictures, when I saw them during practice, they have fun.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing.
They love their job.
This is the secret. This is the secret. It's a job. I always say that.
Yeah.
But it's a game. First of all, it's a game. So if you have fun when you play, you already did. I'm not saying everything, but half. We can say that
I think
it's half of your job.
It makes a massive difference as again, we're giving you more footage all from this week out on the Suning training centre. But I think I can agree. That's why I also love watching these clips back together, Guy, because obviously you see the smiles and you see various things as well, and you just see that, as you said, you used the word earlier about that ferocity, that determination,
yeah.
and because I think your preparation, how you play matches, it's all dependent how you train. If you train well, you'll play well. It's all linked together, and that's why, again, I think
there are some players that maybe during practice you're off, and then you arrive the day of the match and you kill the match. It depends.
Some players were able to do that. Some players were able to do that.
I would like to leave this topic before to travel in the past with just two numbers because we talk about stats before.
Yep.
I have two other interesting stats. Lauti, that he scored 6 goals in the derby in this competition, in all the competition, and Ron scored 5 goals each time that he played the derby. Just to say that now, we can talk about something else.
No, they're important numbers.
It's just stats, it's a stat.
They are important numbers, and they are players who have left their mark in the derby, just like this couple here, Paul Ince and Ivan Zamorano, because now it's time for our Nerazzurri nostalgia as we go back in time and hear from people who know a thing or two about the derby, and one of those is Mr. Paul Ince, who played for Inter between 95 and 97, a veteran of the derby.
Yeah.
And do you know what, Gaia?
I
had the pleasure of speaking to the governor, Paul Ince, earlier this week.
This guy is a lucky guy.
I know.
So now we enjoy the interview.
I played in a lot of derby games, London derbies, Midlands derbies. I played in Manchester derbies, Liverpool versus Everton, Merseyside derbies, so Middlesbrough versus Sunderland. So I played in a lot of derby games, and they all have kind of different emotions and passions to each city. But when people say to me, "What's the best derby you've ever played in?" and I always go back to, my first Inter AC Milan derby. I've never seen anything like it, and I think it was a night game, and there was so many flares and so much smoke going off. I couldn't even see the player next to me. It was that smoky, and the passion and what it meant to the people, the Inter Milan fans. But I remember one story, and it was a strange one because AC Milan had just signed Marseille Desailly, and that was going to be the battle of that derby game. And I can't remember what it was, but some company wanted to do a big picture on the billboard in the Milan city of me and Marseille face to face, just roaring at each other like we were two angry men waiting for the derby to take place. And we was meant to go to a warehouse, a factory, to do the photo shoot. And Marseille Desailly refused to do it with me. He wanted to do it on his own. He didn't want to have any contact with me whatsoever, which I found pretty strange, to be fair, but I could understand it. And I just remember the first time I had a chance to tackle him, I tackled him as hard as I could, and he went down on the floor. And I just said, "Listen, come on, get up, it's a man's game." And that kind of set the tone. And I think when you look back at it, some of the great players they had, Baresi and Maldini, and it was a great event. And I'm actually not too sure, Thomas, whether I actually lost a Milan derby. I think we drew a few and won one. I remember one goal at my best friend Massimo Paganini scored in the Milan derby at the San Siro. That was a great night that night. So but yeah, as far as all the derbies go, the Milan derby, Milan Inter derby was the best for me. And even to win one and, you know, walk out onto the streets. You know, the fans, they idolise you. You could go to any restaurant, you didn't have to pay for anything. Everything was free. So they treated you like kings. If you won that, if we won, Inter won, then we got treated like kings by our fans, and it means so much to people, that derby.
Paul, those Derby Day displays from yourself, it's just one of the many reasons why you're so loved by the Inter faithful. And I know you've often said that, you know, you would have liked to have stayed longer, but obviously circumstances took you back to England. But still, in those 2 years, Paul, you still packed in so much: a UEFA Cup final, the derbies, the matches with Juventus, some incredible goals. So how does it feel to know that the fans still hold you so close to their hearts, despite only having, shall we say, a short and sweet experience in Milan? That must make you very proud.
It does, and you know, even to be in their Hall of Fame, you know, back in Italy, I think that's an incredible achievement for me in such a short space of time. But in that 2 years, it's so great to know that I've left an impact on my Inter fans. And, you know, as I said before, Thomas, the only sad and really sad thing is that I wasn't there long enough, you know, and I think, you know, when I got there, I loved it so much. You know, the fans always looked after me, always supported me, always loved me. And I could see myself just finishing my whole career there. You know, I look at someone like Javier Zanetti, who's now the vice president now. And, you know, we signed the same day, you know, at Inter. You know, so I could have seen myself maybe in that role, you know. So, as I said, I've still... I wouldn't say regret's the word, because it was a family decision and sometimes you have to make those decisions. But that's one thing that when I look back at my career as a footballer, I just think I wish I should have stayed longer. You know, I really do, because I know, speaking to Massimo Moratti, and he wanted to win the Scudetto, and we signed Ronaldo for the next season. And, you know, I wanted to be part of that, really, really did. And but, you know, as I said, family comes first. And I think that Inter fans understand that. You know, I think, you know, even, you know, when I do go back to Italy, you know, the Inter fans still remember, which is always nice. And that'll always be in my heart. And, you know, their support they gave me in difficult times was fantastic. And that's something I'll never forget.
Paul, as yourself mentioned earlier, you played in London derbies, Manchester derbies, Merseyside derbies, and also internationally, I suppose, as well, in England, Scotland at the Euros in 96. And, of course, the Milan derby. Is there a secret to winning a derby, approaching a derby, or is it a case that the form book really does just go out the window?
Yeah, I think it's one of those. I think it's all about on the day. It doesn't matter whether you're top of the table or the other team's middle of the table. You're absolutely spot on. The form goes out the window. You know, this is the game that, as soon as the fixtures come out, the first thing you look for is when's the derby, when's the Milan derby. You know, and it's about on the day. It's about keeping your head, because we know sometimes, more so, but when I played, that, you know, there can be fiery games, and, you know, and you've got to be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you know, you've got to try and keep 11 men on the pitch. That's the most important thing. Sometimes you can get, well, I used to kind of get caught up in the passion of it, and, you know, sometimes you make tackles that you shouldn't be making. And so I think with these games, you have to have discipline. You know, you have to have someone who can just win you a game, a bit of magic, and also deal with play the game. I always say play the game and not the occasion, which is hard to do when you've got 80,000 fans in the stadium. But if you can try to think it's just another football match, even though it's not, it means so much to, you know, the Inter fans, and AC Milan fans. But if you can just think it's just another football match and not be nervous and just try and play the game, then that's how I approached it, you know. And yeah, it's great. You do have butterflies in your stomach, because it's a big game. It's getting shown all over the world, you know. So you do have butterflies, but don't let them nerves affect the way you play football. So in that game, and everybody has to play well. I mean, it's very rarely you win a derby game where, you know, you've got 4 or 5 players who are not performing. You know, 9 out of the 11 players at least have to be performing in that game, at least 9 out of 10. So everyone has to turn up, and that what makes it such a great game. And I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait.
One last thing I'll ask of you, Paul, and then I'll let you crack on because I know you have a football club of your own to manage. Is if you have one last message for the Inter supporters, the tifosi, as I mentioned, they loved you and they still love you to this day.
Yeah, I just like want Inter fans to know that, you know, how disappointed and upset I was, you know, to leave my fans. You know, it still hurts me today. But hopefully they all understand the reason behind it. They're always in my heart, forever will be. And let's hope we're all smiling and cheering and drinking after the derby this weekend.
Absolutely. Let's hope we are celebrating come the final whistle. Thank you so much to the one and only the governor, Paul Ince, who's currently actually coaching at Reading, so he took time out from his busy schedule to speak to me earlier this week, and it was an absolute pleasure. He's one of my all-time idols, for obvious reasons. I love Paul Ince, and you know the Inter tifosi back then used to sing, "Come on, Paul Ince, come on, Paul Ince,
I was thinking, why we are not singing? And now...
I'm singing today, not Gaia Cotta. I'm stealing the show with a microphone this week.
Yes, you stole my microphone.
Apologies for that.
You can do it. You can do it for Paul Ince.
Thank you very much, and that's why we wanted to take that trip back in time for Paul Ince. And again, thank him so much.
You know what, Thomas?
Yes.
Every time we have the opportunity to talk with our legends, we can see that the love for these colors never die.
Never ends. Never ends.
It's like there is something special in the air here in Milan.
And a piano.
And in a piano too, obviously. But the relationship with the fans is amazing.
It's incredible. I think he even said that in his interview, Paul Ince, that he only had 2 years at the club. A long time has passed, since almost 30 years since he last played for this club, but he's still so loved by the fans and he's still so attached to these colours. And I think that's something that also applies to this man here, Ivan Zamorano. We put him up because there's now an exclusive content on YouTube with Ivan Zamorano. So after you've watched our live, after this, of course, go to our YouTube page and check out Ivan Zamorano's live reaction to his 2 Derby Day goals. First going back to 96-97, the last one in 99-2000 from Ivan Zamorano. Yes.
Okay.
I need to check that in the control, but I think that's the correct
no, yes, he scored at his first derby. The first derby that he played. Damn.
But if you want to listen in, check out that content on YouTube. Ivan Zamorano live reaction. Hence, we've got this time traveller. So we've heard from one, and now later, guys, check out Ivan Zamorano. And for our international fans, there are subtitles as well. So,
yes, and this is another story of another great love. You know?
Oh, yes.
Because if we want to talk about the past, obviously, our fans know the story, but maybe the youngest know. So it's always good to remind a good fact like this, because we know he played with the number 9 on his shoulder.
Correct.
But then, you know who needed the number 9?
Ronaldo. Ronaldo
so
il fenomeno.
The idea was I need the number 9 too, but. How can I play with the number 9 if Ronaldo plays with the number 9 too? The solution is 1 plus 8. And everything starts with the tape, the plus. They made the plus with the tape.
True.
And then Nike started to produce the jersey with the number 1 plus 8. And why this is a story of big love? Because actually our fans continue to ask the iconic jersey with the 1 plus 8.
So. Absolutely. And I think it's important to refresh the memory of the interfaithful, and as you said, also inform and teach the younger generation about that incredible, lovely anecdote from Ivan Zamorano, as you said, Guy, because initially when Ronaldo first joined, he had the number 10 jersey, but after France '98, he was feeling a bit down after losing the final, and Ivan Zamorano had this wonderful idea, and that showed what a great heart he had as well. Not only a good player, a very good player, had a great heart as well, and he said, let's give the number 9 to Ronaldo. I would like to have the number 9. He said 1 plus 8, but he also could have done 7 plus 2, or 2 plus 7.
Yeah, he had
8 1.
You had to decide.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you like?
He had lots of options, but he went for a 1 plus 8.
1 plus 8 is easier.
It's easier. Guy, let's see if Ivan Zamorano or Paul Ince are in our top 5 goals against Milan. Now, again, a warning to our fans for our top 5. This is Inter versus Milan, and it's not Milan versus Inter, and it's Inter Milan in Serie A, so in the league. And these are our top 5 goals, and we're going to comment on them together. This isn't at number 5. Now, you mentioned earlier Lautaro Martinez and Romelu Lukaku, who've got a great record in the derby, but this man here has an incredible record as well. Look at that celebration from El Principe, Diego Milito.
Principe. I love this one. I love him as a player.
He was sensational for the Nerazzurri. I think Abate
Look at him.
Still probably has nightmares about this match.
Everything.
A treble hero, Diego Milito, who left his mark on so many occasions in the treble-winning season, of course, in particular. We know from the Coppa Italia, Serie A, Champions League final, but also in the derby. He's one of these...
This is our warm-up for this derby.
Looking at these
amazing goals.
Now, Milito was a derby day man, so was Nicola Berti, Gaia. Now, technically, and I hate to disappoint Nicola Berti, this went down back in the day as an own goal from Sebastiano Rossi. But if it was today's standards, it would be a goal probably from the one and only Nicola Berti, who loved the derby.
What a goal!
What a goal on the volley. I think it was Ruben Sousa chipping it in. I have to ask for confirmation later, but Sousa, I beg your pardon, was chipping it in, and Berti, an incredible volley. Derby day man, let's see who takes number 3.
Number 3, yes.
We're coming closer to today's time. This was 2013-14 season, Guy. Now this was, I remember, a really tight derby. It was blocked, and someone needed to unblock it and needed to break the deadlock. And Rodrigo Palacio in the closing minutes, what a lovely flick to win it late on for the Nerazzurri.
This is something that you can score even when you play video games.
I like that.
You know?
I like that. Absolutely.
I like that.
It's a goal straight off a video console, and I love that celebration from El Trent as well. Now, this guy just misses out on top spot. Adriano, just missing out on top. This takes the silver medal. L'Imperatore, the Emperor. Now, Guy, I don't think necessarily this was, in terms of like technical gesture, the best goal. But the reason I think it's so high up, because last-minute goal.
Yes.
Inter in those years, wanted to assert themselves as the dominant side. So to beat a team like Milan, which a couple of years before had just won the Champions League, meant so much. And I think the Scarpini commentary was incredible. I think he said something like, "Abbiamo puniti ancora. We punished them once again." Egol, of course. Wasn't missing.
And at the end, first place, Maicon.
Has to go to Maicon for me.
I want to know your favorite.
Oh, absolutely. Afterwards, I'll let you know my favourite.
Okay.
Absolutely. But for me, this is an absolute belter. Now, this is special because Maicon has also been recently introduced into the Inter Hall of Fame for this year's edition, and we're still waiting to find out from the midfielder and the forward. So congratulations, of course, to Maicon, not only inducted into the Inter Hall of Fame, but he also takes our top prize in our top 5 goals. A reminder, Inter Milan. That's the reason why, for example, there isn't certain goals in recent years, but that's what we've put in for our top 5. Maicon takes the prize. Let us know what you think at home, Guy. Do you agree with our top 5, or is there one in there you thought maybe
No, I am perfectly agree. I think I have my favorite.
Okay.
I like the Berti.
You like the Berti? Okay.
Yes, I like the Berti goal.
90s nostalgia, 90s girl, Gaia Cotto.
Yes, I am.
A 90s girl, yeah. I like it. For me, listen, I am going to say there's a lot of goals there which could have gone into the top 5. There was one I remember, Inter Milan, Marcelo Brozovic scored an amazing volley and an amazing comeback in, I think it was 1920, Antonio Conte's first season. That one could have creeped in there for me, a recent goal that I really loved. But out of that top 5, I think, you have to give it to Maicon. That game was also special because it was Ivan Cordoba's last ever derby for the club, so special on many occasions, and to win 4-2 versus the Rossoneri.
It's always difficult to choose, but when Inter wins,
we're always happy. We're always happy. We're always happy.
I stop my quote.
Listen, before we move on to our next topic, and also we've got another guest on the way very shortly, because we're going to go back from our sort of time-travelling experiences, which was brilliant, going back into the past, a nice slice of nostalgia. Now we're going to move on to what we like to call the social side, because we're going to shortly, Guy, speak to an Inter Tifosa fan who is based in London and who'll be following the match from London, because as you can see from this footage, we have our fans that always turn out in their numbers, whether it be at San Siro, all across the world. We've named it Social Corner. What do you think? Nice.
Yeah,
You're a social. You like social.
Yes, I have to admit that.
Yeah.
I am social. Okay. Yes, yes. But why we are social here? Because you guys, our fans, are the most important things.
Oh,
we always
absolutely.
talk, obviously, about the game, about our players,
Yeah.
coaches, and everything. But what brings the atmosphere amazing is you. So I think that it's the moment to talk about an international Inter club, because it's London Inter club, right?
And I think she's on the line right now. Chiara, first of all, welcome along. And how are you doing in this build-up to this big match? We're getting ever closer to the Derby della Madonnina. Ciao, Chiara. Hi, Chiara.
Hi, Chiara.
Ciao. Ciao. Hi. Hello.
Hi, what's up?
All good. A little bit anxious for tomorrow's match.
I can imagine, but first of all, can I just say, I love the shirt.
Oh.
Absolutely love the shirt.
Of course.
Chiara, this is the couch where you will watch the match tomorrow?
No, tomorrow we'll be at the Inter Club London.
All
so-
together?
Yes. Sorry, go on.
No, absolutely.
keep
Tell us
going.
about where you're going to be watching the match with Inter Club London, who you're going to be. Tell us about it, because we're always curious to know how Inter is supported outside of Milan or in
Yes,
Italia.
obviously.
So we're going to meet in a pub where we usually go and watch the games. It's in central London, and we expect 100 people to be there.
Whoa.
So it's going to be fun.
Whoa. So you are Italian. Why you're living in London?
I work here. I moved here for work 8 years ago, so I just decided to stay.
And how started your passion for Nero-Azzurri colors?
Well, when I started watching football, Ronaldo was playing.
He
Well, we
was the
mentioned-
reason
yeah,
for a lot of people.
I think you're one of many, Chiara, to say we're here today supporting Inter, working for Inter, whatever it might be, because of Ronaldo, il fenomeno. So is it an obvious question? Is he your all-time favourite Inter player, Ronaldo?
Yes, him and Zanetti, of course.
Il capitano.
Il capitano.
Il capitano, who has scored in the derby in the past, just like Ronaldo.
Il capitano. He knows the topic. He knows the derby.
I think he knows a thing or two. Chiara, in terms of memorable derbies, obviously we recently experienced one in Riyadh just 2 weeks ago, but if you had to pick out your favourite derby, Inter Milan, there's been many, I know, but what would you say?
My favorite one is the one 4-0 just starting of the season with those amazing goals, Stankovic. I mean, the first matches with Milito, Thiago Motta, just amazing derby.
Oh, absolutely. And that was the start of that incredible run versus the treble-winning season. So I imagine you're very attached to that side and the treble, and you have lots of memories of that, of Jose Mourinho's all-conquering side.
Of course, of course. Even if by then I was watching the games, I was still back in Italy, and I used to live in Rome, so I had to watch it with a couple of friends. But now watching games at the Inter Club in London, it kind of feels like you're almost in San Siro, because we tend to shout a lot.
But Chiara, you know, I always joke with my colleague Thomas about rituals, you know, because we are Italian, and okay, Thomas can't really understand it. He always asks me, "Oh, Gaia, what do you think? Who win? Blah blah blah." I never say anything, you know. So, do you have some rituals pre-match? There is something that you always do before that Inter start the game?
Well, what I usually do is just put on my shirt. I have a few Inter shirts. It just depends on the game. I'll pick one, depending or another. And then I just go to the club, help out setting everything up, the TV, the screens, the chairs, just kind of puts me into the atmosphere for the match.
Absolutely. No, Gaia is correct. She's very sort of superstitious. She has a pre-match routine. She has her rituals. And then there's me who doesn't believe in any of that. So we're a big contrast.
I mean, I believe in our guys first of all. So obviously, but, you know, the traditions for an Italian girl. I am superstitious. I was just curious about an Italian in London.
Absolutely. No, I completely get that. Chiara, so what is your role with Interclub London? Because if there's going to be over 100 people tomorrow, seems like it's a growing club, a big club. And what's your kind of role within the organisation?
I'm actually the president of the club.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Hey.
Complete respect for the president.
You're talking with the president. Oh.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And what was your best memory? Maybe at the stadium or with the family? The best victory that you remember that you lived in person?
Well, my favorite memory was 2 years ago now, when we won the Scudetto. We all, it was still kind of after COVID, so we all meet up in the Trafalgar Square. And there were 40, 50 of us, all of us dressed up in nero-azzurri colors. It's amazing. So, yeah, that was my best memory so far as president.
Fantastic. And listen, and on that note, let's hope that tomorrow there can be another important memory with you as president of Interclub London, Chiara. Fingers crossed for Inter tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us.
You cross your finger now.
Yes,
huh?
exactly. Okay, now I'm becoming a little bit superstitious. But joking aside, she always tries to distract me. Chiara, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have one last message to the Inter supporters all around the world before we say arrivederci, ciao, ciao, goodbye?
Let's just support our guys together tomorrow, and Forza Inter.
Forza Inter.
Thank you,
Chiara.
Chiara.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and we'll see you very soon on Matchday Hype. Ciao, Chiara.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Chiara for joining.
Girl power.
Girl power. Girl presidents. We like to see that. She's the president of Interclub London. Thank you so much to Chiara. And it shows, Chiara, as we said, FC Internazionale, so international fans in London, fans all across the world, fans here, obviously, and as you can see from this lovely shot of San Siro, we're going to see something similar tomorrow.
I don't know if I can spoiler something.
Go. Spoiler something.
I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay, I say that.
Go.
You talk about international fans.
Yep.
I know that tomorrow we have some interclubs from... Oh, okay, I didn't... Sorry, I didn't...
It's a spoiler.
Tomorrow.
On that note, it's another reason to watch Inter TV tomorrow. Watch us on Twitch as well, because we have some surprises in store. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Surprises in store tomorrow?
Yes, some guests from all over the world, because you are protagonists, you know? So I just said that, okay?
That is fantastic.
Oh, sorry, boss. I will... Okay.
Okay. She's not allowed to say anymore. Okay, cut.
Come on.
Move on. Gaia, as we know, Inter are not only international, but Inter is also very social. And it's been a very interesting week on the social media front for the club. Lots of interesting posts, lots of interesting content. Am I right?
Yes. Just some interesting posts.
Yeah.
First of all, we already talked about this guy, the go-to-go guy of the moment. Darmian will resign with Inter. He posted a picture on his Instagram account. Okay, I mean, first of all, this look is amazing.
He looks
it's like a
very smart.
You know?
He looks like he's going to a wedding.
Yeah, and it's also a little wedding with the club.
I like it.
You know? I like the idea.
I like it. He's tying the knots with Inter for another year. I love it. No, I love it. It's massive news, and you can see here the players liking it as well. Aslani, one of many to like it, including Matteo Darmian as well. No, a big moment, and I think richly deserved for Matteo Darmian, because he joined the club in 2020. He's been part of all the success between Scudetto, the 2 Supercoppe and the Coppa Italia. Such a versatile player. A go-to guy, as you said. Go-to guy. I like that.
You like this
Love
definition?
that expression, yeah.
I think sacrifices could be another key
Yeah.
word to describe his job, because sometimes he had to sacrifice for the team, himself. But every time that the coach called him, he always said, "I'm ready. I'm ready."
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter which position, he's always ready. He already showed a lot of time his love for Inter. So yes, we can say that this was an important moment for...
Just like this important moment away to Monza for Matteo Darmian, as I said, on the score sheet on plenty of occasions. In fact, 8 times in his Inter career. And this is a stat that I was told from Tommaso Bezotti, who works for Inter TV.
Yes,
in
thanks
the
Tommaso,
Italian,
the man of the stats.
The stat man.
He
Stat
always
man, I
helps
call him. I
us
call him
a
the
lot.
stat man. He scored 8 for Inter, and in his entire career before joining Inter, he scored 9. So that's an incredible amount of goals. And often they've been decisive goals, like this one here against Atalanta in the Cup, which helped take Inter through to the semi-finals of the competition. There's other decisive goals, Guy, that he scored, and decisive moments. And obviously the one that springs to mind for most Inter tifosi, those goals he scored against Hellas Verona and Cagliari in the Scudetto winning season, but he's also scored in the Champions League as well against Borussia Mönchengladbach. So a man for all seasons. So a go-to guy and a man for all seasons.
Yes, because every time, we talk about, yes, he played good, he helped a lot the team with good plays and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but when you find the goal, oh...
It's special.
It's special because all the job that you did made it, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's something... Yes.
Have you got
anything
else?
Yes,
Anything else on the social?
We have, we already talked about Zamorano.
Yes.
He's here, he will be at the Derby. And yesterday he visited the museum. And
Okay.
So if you check his social
media
network,
account, yeah.
you can see that he visits the museum, the 1+8 jersey, and the 9, and a lot of interesting things. And another post that we have.
Yes, I'm interested. I'm curious.
Materazzi.
Matrix.
He went yesterday to
Materazzi.
Tutti Pazzi. No, we can say that better.
Okay.
Tutti Pazzi.
I'm not going to do it. You can do it.
No,
it's
okay.
not my language.
If you have to say that, our fans speak like this. Oh,
I know.
I know.
No, what's Matrix?
I'm playing.
I know. Don't you worry. I've already accepted it. What's Matrix been posting this week?
Matrix visited the HQ yesterday, the Inter HQ, and in front of our timeline, he reminded us that yes, they made a history, and he tagged all his teammates under into the Instagram story. Sorry, and the age when they, oh my God.
Fantastic.
Yes. Yes.
Matrix is someone who certainly left his mark in the derby. Guy, sadly, we're almost out of time. But before we go, obviously, I want to show our fans what we like to call our video hero. This one is a special one. Maybe we can watch it together and get even more excited for the big match.
Oh, of course, Tom. Of course.
What do you think?
Ready?
Milano is?
Milano is loading. Milano is loading, and we are ready to live new emotions with our guys.
Absolutely.
We're ready to live the derby. Time flies, Thomas.
Time flies, absolutely. It's been an incredible hour or so together, live on YouTube for Matchday Hype, and this occasion building up to the big game tomorrow. As we see, Milano is loading. This was another level that needed to be loaded, our Matchday Hype, and now we're getting ready. Now we can remind our fans who are following us all over the world that tomorrow we are going to be back. We've got so much going on, whether it be through our social media channels, on Inter TV as well for our pre-match and post-match, of course, and we're live on Twitch too. I know you're going to be at San Siro, you're going to be interviewing fans from all around the world.
We both will be in
gonna
San Siro, and yes, I will try to do that. So, guys, See you tomorrow.
We will see everybody tomorrow.
A big shout out to all the team that were behind the scene.
Yes, thank you to everybody who's made this possible, and hopefully we're back very soon for Matchday Hype. So with that, Guy, I think all there's left to say is Forza Inter, giusto?
Yes, thanks, Thomas.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the Inter fans. Bye.